trying to find a fucking list of the Eisner Winners that also has the nominations.
Oh, yeah, it's like...
It only has the winners.
Who cares about the losers, Nathan? Alrighty, welcome back everybody to the Tradewaiters podcast, the comic book club where we read a different trade paperback every single week. I'm Daniel, you're Nathan, we're brothers, we read comics.
So many comics. Two comics specifically in this episode.
Two comics, not one, but two.
Two trades.
It comes in one trade though, you can't really find them
two
separately.
For the price of one, that's the value you get here at Tradewaiters.
Yeah, but
we're on clearance.
Too much for us to both read, so we just split up the work.
Yeah.
What if we did that with like another trade, but like I read the first half, you read the second half, and we just had to...
I'm just so confused.
We just had to figure it out together.
You're like, how does this end? And I'm like, who the fuck was this guy?
Are we like, we read like every other issue? I think that could be fun.
That could be fun.
But it's like a murder mystery. So
like,
like,
if I only like watched half the back half of the movie, like,
yeah,
that'd be. It should be something like really good too.
I'm like, this movie is fucking crazy.
We should split up the Long Halloween like that.
Oh God.
we'd still be reading like 12 issues each, I think. But
yeah,
that would be kind of funny actually.
But no time to waste, Aiden, because there's hella news.
Big episode.
We gotta cut it down as much as possible. So quit your yapping.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Get to trapping.
No yapping on this podcast.
We got different time codes in the description. We got the book, which is Before Watchmen, Comedian, and Rorschach. We got Back Matter Matters in the poll list, but we start with the news. Nathan, Mark Waid, Dan Mora, Justice League Unlimited. How's Dan Mora doing 2 DC books? I don't know.
Oh yeah, because he's doing Superman, right?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Joshua Williamson?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know how he's got to be cheating.
He's clearly not real.
He's not, dude. Like, it's insane.
He's a fake person.
He must be.
I never believed him for a second. Yeah.
Because at one point he had like World's Finest and Shazam and then like one other thing going on, I felt like. He's doing a bunch of covers still.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand.
I don't know. Man doesn't sleep, I guess.
I guess not. But it's pretty cool, pretty exciting.
Yeah.
God, so San Diego Comic-Con happened.
Yeah, so tons of shit.
So this is the first week that we've been able to record since that happened. So there's tons of shit that happened. So bear with us. San Diego Comic-Con, Dynamite announces Declan Shalvey and Luke Sparrow are going to be the creative team for the upcoming Terminator comic.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, I feel like Terminator comics have been like on a hiatus lately. Oh,
yeah,
it's
I
cool.
know. Yeah, so it looks sweet. It's going to be a Dynamite. I like Declan Shalvey. I'm not super familiar with Luke Sparrow, so that should be cool.
Good name. Nathan, Jeff Lemire, Nick Robles on Absolute Flash.
Okay. I did hear that rumor before San Diego Comic-Con, and I was like, okay, sounds cool. But then he was announced for Justice League something else, right?
Justice Society?
Justice League International? Who's that one, right?
JLA?
I think it was Justice League.
It's JSA.
JSA? That's probably what it is. No, JSA, you're right.
JSA, yeah.
Because it has Alan Scott, Green Lantern, and Wildcat, dude.
Wildcat, baby.
Okay, anyway, so
that's
he's on
other news
Absolute
as well.
Flash. Yeah, okay, cool. Because we only knew that
he's only been writing on all this stuff, so...
Because we only knew that there was Absolute, like, Trinity books coming out, right? Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Well, there's, like, Absolute Titans and stuff.
Oh, okay. So he's going to be on that, which should be exciting. I wonder what he's going to do that's different.
Did you see like the concept photo for it?
No, I didn't.
It looks different. It looks like Flash if he was like a kid or something.
Oh, like a kid Flash, perhaps. That'd be a good idea. Imagine that.
They'll probably call him Flash Kid or something.
Flash Child. Okay, he looks like teen aged. Is this Barry?
I don't know, dude.
No, he's a redhead, so I think not.
Wally,
right?
probably.
Wally. Cool. I like Jeff Lemire. I like that he's doing big 2 stuff.
Yeah,
so
good for him.
Give me more.
He's
give me
back.
more.
He's back.
We also have Absolute Green Lantern, which is going to be Al Ewing, which is pretty cool.
Green Lantern?
Yeah, Absolute Green Lantern. Don't see who the artist was. I don't think we know yet. So, but he's going to be attached to that.
Nathan, in Marvel news, Daredevil and Black Panther, The Men Without Fear, coming this November.
Oh, really? They both don't have fear?
Neither of them have fear.
Oh, good.
John Hickman and Marco Cicchetto.
Whoa, is it an Ultimate book?
I don't know. It didn't say that. Don't think too hard. There's already an Ultimate Black Panther. There's just some other thing, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen them team up really too much, like individually. So,
yeah, very very random.
so is
pairing.
it Daredevil going to Wakanda or Wakanda going to Daredevil? No, or Black Panther going to
You
Hell's
can't take a
Kitchen.
Daredevil out of Wakanda. No, they switch places.
Oh,
Black Panther is in Hell's Kitchen now.
so he's swinging around the fucking Wakanda buildings.
Yeah.
and Black Panther's killing everybody very easily.
Exactly.
That's cool. I like that. We have some trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the first teaser for Uzumaki?
That's not the first teaser, but yes, I saw what you're talking about.
Discussing Film says first teaser for Uzumaki.
Discussing films is a dipshit.
Discussing fucking idiots, more like.
No, that teaser came out like last year,
Oh, well, this is
but now that
first full teaser.
that one has like a release date.
Yeah, September 28th on Adult Swim.
Woo!
You excited for that?
Yeah, dude.
Are we reading that?
If you're down,
Is it all of that?
yeah.
We'll see. Maybe I'll read it on the plane.
I'll read
I
the
don't
first half. You read the second half.
know. Oh, dude, it's an anthology anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
So okay, I'm down for that.
Yeah, no, this is like one of those things where like, you know, time would pass and then I would Google when it comes out to see if I missed it. I'm
Yeah.
like, when the fuck does it come out? And it's like,
So
fall.
you've been waiting.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because it's going to rule.
Nice. Yeah, excited for that.
In other TV news, Nathan, the Boys universe is not ending with season 5.
Nope.
We get Vought Rising
Keep it going.
with Soldier Boy and Stormfront returning.
And they're like
It's-
creating VOT or
It's
something.
like a prequel kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of Nazi shit
Yeah.
and a lot of Vietnam War stuff, maybe. I don't know.
What do you think about this?
I'm happy with it. I'm glad that they're continuing to expand. Their expansions seem to be working so far.
Yeah. This isn't
And
a concept I'm immediately like crazy about, I don't think.
I always like the flashback stuff to like when Soldier Boy was in.
Yeah, that stuff was cool.
Yeah, so more of that could be cool.
Yeah, I assume it'll be good because of all the seasons that The Boys has had, which has been like 4 of the regular show, Gen V, and then Diabolical. Like those are all hits to me.
Right, yeah.
So I think this will definitely earn me checking it out, like at least the first season. But yeah, when I saw this, I was like, really? Okay. Is that where we're going with this?
I'm happy with more Jensen Ackles.
Yeah, Jensen Askell. That's a big
Askles?
Askels. But yeah, that's a big get. I feel like he was acting like
They
he
already had
read
him.
that for the first time.
Yeah,
like,
no,
on
I'm like,
stage?
don't you definitely have to like sign on for
I'm
this
like,
shit?
you need a
Talk
contract
pay,
or whatever.
yeah.
So he's like, oh, this is so I just hate that. But anyway, pretty cool overall.
Yeah. Nathan, you like Dexter?
Oh yeah, I did see this
Dexter Original Sin coming this December.
with Michael C. Hall.
No, that's the prequel thing.
Oh.
Michael C. Hall will be narrating, I think.
Wait, so what were you talking about?
That's the prequel thing.
What were you talking about?
Dexter Original Sin.
Okay, what is that?
That's like the prequel one
Oh, okay.
where he's like a kid killing people.
So there's
That's coming this December, and there's also Dexter Resurrection, which will have Michael C. Hall returning
as Dexter,
and
he's back from the dead.
yeah, if he died, I guess maybe, I don't know. You didn't watch the new season, did you?
No, I didn't.
First Blood or Last Blood? I don't remember.
Probably Last Blood.
I think it was First Blood.
I think he's done many. I think his First Blood was a while ago, so it's probably Last Blood.
Yeah, you didn't
Anyway,
see it.
Daniel, this is good comic book news.
The Dexter.
Yeah, because Dexter's a comic.
Yeah, this Dexter Comics.
This makes this comic book news.
Yeah, that's good enough for me. This is me news.
is cool.
I'm excited about this.
Do you think Michael C. Hall will like ever do anything else?
He was in the movie Gamer?
He was also in the movie Game Night.
Yeah.
So, and he was Vampire Batman, and that's the only other thing.
Right. He was in some show before Dexter, and he was gay. His character was gay.
Yuck.
I can't remember. That was the only thing I remember about it. His like family runs like a funeral home or something. Hey, the other trailers, Creature Commandos,
I did see that.
coming in sometime.
I didn't realize there was a Frankenstein and a Frankenstein's Bride,
Yeah.
which is cool.
I really didn't think about it that much.
Yeah, I didn't think about who was in the cast, but it looks pretty fun.
I like that green head fire guy.
Yeah, DC loves those green head fire guys.
Yeah.
Are you excited to see more Weasel?
Yeah.
He's my favorite. That'll be good.
Yeah. More comics, Nathan.
Yeah, let's do
This is
yeah.
a comic podcast after all.
Yes.
Distillery coming out, a new book with Scott Snyder and Jock called You Won't Feel a Thing.
Oh, I missed this.
Yeah, you did.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, looks pretty cool. Jock's the man.
Yeah, he's great.
Did he do that other thing? He did one, right?
He did Distillery, yeah. It's called Gone.
Gone? Yeah, gone.
Now it's done.
And Jock's not gone. He's back.
I'm back, baby.
Neither is Scott Snyder after The White Boat.
You thought I was gone? Nope. I still need to read The White Boat. I have the first one. I don't know if the second one came out. New Gods by Ram V and Evan Cagle.
Ooh,
I believe
man.
that's the creative team on Dawn Runner.
Whoa, that's going to go crazy.
So they're going to be on New Gods, which I think is really
how
cool.
do I know Evan Cagle?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's great. So that'll be cool.
That's such a cool pairing.
Yeah, it really is. I like that creative team. Psylocke. We know who's writing it. It's Alyssa Wong.
Nice.
What does Psylocke get up to without the X-Men? If Quanon's past, that's her name apparently. Did you know that?
No.
Quanon? What a sick name.
QAnon?
No, that's the other group, I think.
That's not the X-Men?
Which says, we're going dark, we're going emotional, we're going to have a lot of fun. See you in 2024. And it's going to be drawn by...
We're in 2024.
Bruno Mel. No, sorry. Vincenzo Caratu.
There's two very different names.
Yeah, sorry. I read the wrong one. And then Daniel Ragnarok by Walt Simonson. It's going to be Walter Simonson's return to Thor, where he's writing and drawing it. It's coming in 2025.
Nice.
Thor's going to Jotunheim to fuck some shit up.
Sweet.
He looks like an old Thor. I don't know if you've seen like Walt Simonson stuff, like interiors. That dude's pretty fucking raw with his stuff. Like recently.
No, not recently.
Yeah. He would always do like a random like guest appearance in like Jason Aaron's stuff, like any of the big issues where it's like Thor 750 or whatever. Like they get a bunch of artists. I always see the Simonson pages and I'm like, this guy.
That promo art looks awesome.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Then are you excited about the new old DC logo?
For DC Studios?
Yeah.
Yeah, they chose the best one. That's for sure.
That's good.
That one's cool. I like the current one now.
I'm just used to it now.
I'm nostalgic for the sticker one, but I can recognize that it's not the best one.
Yeah, it's just kind of what we had.
It's like what I grew up with, I guess. You know, with New 52 and shit like that.
Are you
looking around for the sticker?
No, I'm looking for this.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure Omnibus fans aren't stoked, if they put like all their DC omnibuses together and it's just some new logo,
Yeah.
rather than...
No. Just this DC movie studios logo.
I think it's for like everything.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, he's always talking about how everything's connected.
Yeah, but not this.
Okay.
If I look up DC Comics right now,
if there's the new DC logo on a DC comic in the next couple months, I get to hit you.
I just went to DC Official, but I think they changed it because that's a big change.
Huh?
No, I don't think it's going to be it for forever. Hold on. Let me see if there's like a comic book announcement on here. It has a new logo. Dude, am I wrong?
You often are.
Dude, I don't think I am.
You never think you are.
They just said it was a DC studio. Oh, I could be wrong though.
Fuck. You know how like the comics and like the games and like the movies are all supposed to be connected?
Yeah, but
Marvel have the same logo.
Marvel has like Marvel Comics and then Marvel Studios.
Yeah, but they're different. Anyway,
I guess we'll see.
Nathan, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Doctor Doom, I guess.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
I don't know. I saw that. I'm like, that's crazy. And I didn't even process like if that works, or like how
I don't think so.
People are not going to be cast as Doom now.
Yeah. I mean, people are angry because he's not like Romani or whatever he's supposed to be.
Oh.
I think he's Latvian in the comics, but maybe he's supposed to be Romani. But
isn't Latvian like fake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I get that. But also, just like...
Chadwick Boseman wasn't Wakandan,
That's true. But like, I'm trying to think why they thought this was a good idea. Because they must have something cooking.
They're gonna,
but it doesn't feel like anything new. It kind of feels desperate right now.
It feels like they start at the end.
Yeah,
and then they'll figure it out in between.
Oh yeah. They're doing it old Marvel style. It's like, this is what I've written or this is what I've drawn. You figure out what to write.
I think I saw like
but like I don't think RDJ doesn't need this, right? You just wanted an Oscar.
No,
for like Oppenheimer.
Maybe he like,
and so
he got the thing that he wanted, which was like an Oscar,
and he's like, okay, now
taken seriously.
I've proven my worth.
Yeah.
So I can go back.
Here's a theory I saw on Twitter that I'd be okay with. So it's revealed that Tony was the anchor being of the sacred timeline, right?
Okay.
The 616 universe is now dying, and To solve this problem, the Avengers pull a Stark variant into their universe. They slowly realize that he's not the Stark they hoped for, and he's actually
pause.
Doctor Doom.
Anchor being like the concept from Spider-Verse?
No, from Deadpool that we just got.
Okay, got it. Yeah. You're right.
You're thinking of like
I'm thinking of canon event.
canon event, yeah.
Okay, continue.
So, yeah, pull a Stark variant into their universe. They slowly realize it's not the Stark they hoped for, and he's actually Doctor Doom. So they get a Stark from a different universe, and it just ends up being Doctor Doom.
It'll have to be like some sort of Stark variant for sure, right? Yeah. Because there's no way that they're going to get RDJ and not show his face, like make him like just a voice actor.
It's very possible.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it's like impossible,
I think it is.
Might be. It seems like they're...
But yeah, it's weird. I just...
I think that, it's like the desperate move, like you were saying, like they're trying to play the hits.
Yeah.
They bring back the Russo brothers because those Avengers movies worked mostly. And
I would say they did, yeah.
Avengers 2 works.
No, they didn't do Avengers 2. They did...
You don't bet?
Dude, I'll bet so much money. You know what? Actually, let's make this interesting. Do you want to make a bet on something?
Stop bet? What?
No. Let's bet one Portillo's cake shake that you have to drink in its entirety on the podcast.
Without breathing?
No, you can breathe. You just have to finish it by the time the next podcast is done.
That's fine. I'll just pass out.
And for those that don't know, Portillo's cake shake is a chocolate shake with an entire piece of cake inside of the shake, blended up. And it's disgusting. We've talked about it before.
I don't feel good about the Russo Brothers anymore. No, because they did Winter Soldier and that worked, I think. No, they did Civil War, and maybe they did Winter Soldier 2, and then they did those 2 Avengers things.
Are you sure about that?
I'm feeling better about that.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah,
you are right.
Bring back the Russo brothers because they're like, oh, they did Endgame, so that means they can never do a bad thing.
And their independent shit wasn't that good, so maybe they wanted to come back. But
yeah, and so
yeah, Russo Bros makes sense. RDJ is
I think
a surprise.
they're just kind of like listening to the people, and then watch like Doomsday maybe not be that great, and they're like, see, we gave you what you wanted,
yeah,
and you're still bitching,
Well, what are they gonna do with Kang now?
He's dead in Loki, and he was gone in Ant-Man. So,
but there's still like an army of them at the end of Ant-Man. So are they just using the Loki thing, I guess, to be like, oh, this was the original one, so now all of them are dead?
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense, but I don't know.
Something like that. You can probably write your way out of any hole, but
as long as we keep Secret Wars, all I want to see is a big the Thing.
Yeah, that's all I care about. I need Johnny Storm to beat the sun.
Yeah, Johnny Storm's song, Big the Thing, comes out of the earth.
Thanos, he needs his skull and spine ripped out.
Yeah, he needs to get Mortal Kombated.
He needs to be Predatored.
Predatored, yeah, that's a better way to do it. And that's all I remember about that book.
Yeah, good stuff.
And 2 planets crash into each other, I think.
And Deadpool needs to be in between them.
Oh, yeah, that does happen. Oh, man.
That's a lot of shit to look up.
Yeah.
But...
Interesting, overall.
Interesting. I saw like a tweet going around how like RDJ's taking in like 400 to 500 million total from the Marvel universe.
Yeah, he's getting 80 mil for the next 2 Avengers movies, apparently. So
that's crazy.
That would like ruin me.
And then people are all like...
I would be
bitching about how like some comic creators like can't afford healthcare and shit like that.
Yeah, that's definitely a very valid conversation.
Yeah.
Joe Quesada's doing his own publishing company.
Okay.
He's teamed up with Mad Cave Studios and European publishing house Dupuis to launch amazing comics. First comic will be Disciple, which is I believe written and drawn by him. So that's interesting.
Okay.
He's been cooking some stuff.
He's been cooking a thing.
Daniel Charles Soule, you're a big fan of him?
Yeah.
He's releasing a concept album for curse words. It's on Kickstarter right now. You can get it like a curse words album and like a vinyl, which is kind of cool.
Oh, neat.
And it's on Kickstarter, so go check it out.
Is it like his band or something?
I don't know. It just says the curse words concept album, and then it's just by Charles Soule. I don't know if he's doing everything.
Like music?
Yeah, music.
Weird.
So
that's neat though.
Yeah, it's I like when people do that. Last few things, not super comic booky news, but NSYNC's Bye 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 just hit the top 20 on global Spotify. Probably because of the Deadpool movie.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Frank Thierry followed me back, so I looked at his profile, and now his bio says Eisner losing writer of TV, video games, and comics. So with that, let's go into the Eisners.
Ah, man, good transition.
Right, so Eisner Awards happened real quick before we get into the juicy stuff.
I think we got 2 things right.
Sweet.
That it's probably as good as we did last year.
That's why we need to go on the judges panel, bro. We know what's up.
Dude, how did we fucking whiff so hard?
Dude, we whiffed so bad. It's actually
like
kind of funny.
we like basically picked the winners.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, it's definitely this.
Yeah.
Definitely her.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I think we got the Dana Warren Johnson one right, and then like the Nightwing one right. Is that right?
I didn't guess the single issue. I was guessing like the best teen book, and it was Danger and Other Unknown Risks by Ryan North and Erica Henderson.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's the only one I knew of. So I'm like, that'll win, I think.
Yeah. We got some Hall of Famers that were inducted this year. We have Klaus Jensen.
Nice.
Jim Lee. Mike Mignola.
Nice.
Which is crazy he's not in there already, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
And Jill Thompson are all inducted amongst other people.
To be inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame, you have to be out of the league for at least 5 years. So at least these people are still making comics.
Yeah, true. That's very true. Okay.
So they're probably thinking of old people.
So let's go down the list of the stuff that we care about. I found a good list. So best short story, it was The Kelpie by Becky Cloonan. In 4 Gathered on Christmas Eve. And then for best single issue one shot, it was Nightwing by Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo. I have that issue. It's the one where it's like all first person view.
Yeah.
Of like Nightwing swinging around.
The VR one.
Yeah, the VR one. Best continuing series, we have Transformers by Dana Warren Johnson. Super happy that one. And I think wait, that whole category was DC Comics? We probably said that at the time. That's
ongoing?
Crazy. Yeah. Best continuing series. It was Birds of Prey, Nightwing, Shazam, and Wonder Woman.
Wow.
And Transformers. So Transformers is the only one.
Dang,
that
DC
wasn't DC.
bodied.
Yeah. Best limited series, we had guessed The Cull, but we also have Godzilla, Here There Be Dragons, Kill Your Darlings, Superman Lost were a part of it, and they all lost to Pee Pee Poo Poo by Carolyn Cash.
Superman lost?
Superman Lost, it was in the writing.
It lost.
It was in the title. I didn't think Godzilla Here There Be Dragons would win, but I didn't think it would lose to Pee Pee Poo Poo, to be fair. So
right.
That's crazy. The Cull did not win, unfortunately. That was the one I was like pretty sure about.
Right. Have you read Somna at all?
I have not read Somna.
This is like kind of like I've read like number 1 and like it's good stuff. Like the artwork's really cool and whatnot, but just like conceptually, I just don't think it's like there.
Yeah,
I'm not like bagging on this. I'm just talking about like how surprised I was, and I didn't buy like number 2.
Yeah. So this one for best new series, it won against Phantom Road by Jeff Lemire, Gabriel Hernandez Walta, Local Man, Tim Seeley, Tony Fleeks, which we read, Black Cloak, a Kelly Thompson book with Meredith McLaren, and then Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, which I would have bet my life savings on winning.
Right. Yeah.
Because I like that book a lot. So yeah, Somna won, which is cool. I'll have to check it out. Okay.
Yeah, the trade just came out. Best manga is My Picture Diary. It's not one that I've read, but I'll probably give it a shot now.
Best humor publication, it's Jeff, the Jeff-verse, #1 by Kelly Thompson and Guri Huru.
Nice.
Which is cool. It won against I Was a Teenage Michael Jackson Impersonator, a couple other things. I've read in its Jeff book. It's delightful, so I'm glad that it won. And we should read one, I think.
Okay.
Like, that's a book that I read, and I was like, Sophie would love this. And I gave it to her, and she read it, and she's like, I love It's Jeff. So, best anthology, Comics for Ukraine. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Let's skip through some of the ones. Oh, there was a tie for best graphic album reprint, which was Hip Hop Family Tree, The Omnibus by Ed Piskor, and Wonder Woman Historia. So I didn't know that there could be a tie. So that's kind of interesting.
Seems like a conditional kind of thing.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know. I'll be the swing vote. Give it to me.
Wonder Woman.
But it's cool that they could both win, actually. And his rest in peace to Ed Piskor. His family was able to accept the award on his behalf. And they said some words that said, we all need to be better. We all need to be kinder. And in this world, we should all stick together and help each other to not put anybody down. Comics were Ed's life, says his mother. Make more comics, read more comics. For sure.
Good words.
And she also said, Piskor's brother thanks his mother. From the time that my brother picked up a pencil, my mom and dad encouraged and did everything in their power to get us to this stage. So very nice words from his family. And then next one.
Maybe best writer.
Yeah, I got to skip to that. There's a bunch of. Okay, best writer. Mariko Tamaki for Roaming.
And that's
one against Tom Taylor for Nightwing, Kelly Thompson, Mark Waid, G. Willow Wilson. So yeah, Roaming apparently looks pretty good. It was from Drawn and Quarterly. Best writer artist, Dana Warren Johnson for Transformers.
Nice.
Fuck yeah. He won against like Zoe Thorogood for Hack/Back to School, one against Tilly Walden for Clementine Book 2. I still got to read that. And those are the names I recognize. Best penciler / inker or penciler inker team. We have Jillian Tamaki for Roaming, same book that Mariko Tamaki won, but one against Jason Sean Alexander, Dan Mora, Chris Salmney, Tula Lotte. So that was a stacked one.
That book better be like amazing.
I know, right? It's gotta make me like cry or something. You know?
I thought I looked at it. It looked like it was just like a black and white book.
No, I remember seeing like the cover for it. And it looked. I guess I don't really know how to describe it, but it looks nice.
Nathan, this is better than Dan Mora.
Ooh, maybe there's some big moments in there. Maybe someone transforms or something in there.
I mean, it seems like they're only using like 2 colors and then black and white, which is neat, but
you know, maybe then like the big moments is very emotional. I don't know. It's not.
It's probably just like a slice of life thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more to comics than like sci-fi and like superheroes and stuff, but like that's crazy.
It is surprising to me. Has Chris Samney ever won one? Surely he has, right? I wish there was a way to look that up.
You probably can.
Best cover artist, Peach Momoko won.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good.
She beat out Dan Mora. Another thing he lost in.
I probably would have put Peach Momoko.
Evan Cagle, Jen Bartel also were in that category. But yeah, Peach Momoko is a great one. She's been killing it this year, especially.
Yeah.
Best coloring, Jordi Belair. Just give it to her every year.
Let's go.
She's great though, so I'm cool giving it to her every year. But beats out Matt Hollingsworth, Lee Luffridge, Dave McCaig.
I've been seeing Lee Luffridge on like
Luffridge.
A ton of shit.
Yeah, I think he was just on Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
I want to say. So,
and then he's on.
I feel like the big colorists do a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know? So, because it's like this person will get nominated and then it'll be like 15 titles that they worked on. So,
right.
Best lettering. I believe I got this one right because it was the only one I knew, but it was Hassan Otsmane Alhau.
Ah, there you go.
For all of the stuff that he does this year. Apparently it's a lot.
What's one thing that we know?
Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees.
Ah, good stuff. Yeah.
So I guess technically the book kind of won. He was also on The Cull. What's the Furthest Place from Here? He was on The Flash, apparently. Batman City of Madness.
I said one.
He's got some good stuff. Any other ones? Best comics related book, I Am the Law, How Judge Dredd Predicted Our Future. That's kind of cool. Oh, dude, the Claremont run wins Best Academic Scholarly Work.
Yeah, that is cool.
So I like them. I follow them on Twitter. They got some actually really deep analytical comic book stuff, something I could never ever even attempt to do half as good as them.
Yeah,
so,
I see the first post of it and then I keep scrolling.
It's well, sometimes it's interesting. Dude, they did like a whole Claremont run on like Iron Fist shit, and I was so into it. So go back. Best webcomic, Lore Olympus.
Ooh, there you go.
The last time, I think.
Yeah, probably.
So that's cool. She's probably, I think that was her 3rd or 4th time winning.
It could probably be like still nominated next year.
Yeah, what's like the window? Is it like calendar year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so technically she could still win next year. So that was pretty cool. Best Digital Comic Friday by Ed Brubaker and Marcos Martin.
Is that book 3?
Volumes 7 through 8.
7.
So
yeah, they're apparently fucking cranking those out.
Yeah, they're crushing.
That seems like a lot.
That. Yeah, because I think that's on Panel Syndicate is like Ed Brubaker's forum thing, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is it?
He's got like his own free forum thing that I think he posts shit to.
But like the physical volume 3 just came out.
You could buy that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said 3.
So yeah, that was the Eisners.
Oh man.
I feel like we got more than 2 right. If we went back to whatever.
Yeah, it was like 5-ish.
Yeah.
But, you know, the ones that like I feel like are most important to the pod, we got like wrong.
Yeah, all the ones that
as
we
far
read,
as like our opinion.
I think all the ones we read lost, right? Because we did the Cole and Godzilla, and was that the only 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Mostly because Godzilla one sounded fun, but I didn't think it was.
That was a good book.
Yeah, it's good. It was fun. So I enjoyed it.
All right, and let's get in the book that we read this week.
Yes.
Do you want to go first?
No, you go first. It was Before Watchmen.
It did start
comedian
with
Rorschach. It starts with a comedian, so it only makes sense, I feel.
Before we get to Before Watchmen, Nathan.
Okay.
I need to complain about something.
Sure.
I need to complain about the Before Watchmen omnibus that I've had back here. Our trade that we read has comedian 1 through 6 and then Rorschach 1 through 4.
It's not in there.
No, let me read you the order that they have this in.
Okay.
I was excited to pull this out and start reading from it.
Yeah, I
because the big
I
boy.
look at you all the time, and that's been in my field of view for so long, but I didn't even know you had
So it starts with Minutemen #1.
Okay.
Then it goes to Silk Spectre #1.
Oh,
and then
no.
Comedian #1. And then, goes all through the series and then goes back to Minutemen #2.
Dude, what a nightmare.
So it's not in order of like the series. It's like all the ones, all the twos.
Whose fucking idea was that?
I don't know.
'Cause
I
the
need
trades
to
aren't like
fucking
that.
punch them, dude.
So you had to read Comedian #1 and then flick through it to find Comedian #2?
No, I read it digitally. I was like, fuck that. I might look at it.
Good stuff. That's absurd.
And I like want to get rid of it. I'm like, I'm never gonna read it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, there's no
And
point
by the
in-
time I
in
get
having
back
it.
around to #2 of like Minutemen, I'm gonna
It's
fucking
like,
forget
oh, fuck,
what it
who
is.
the hell is this guy again?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so the Comedian one's by Brian Azzarello and J.G. Jones. And then the Before Watchmen Rorschach is by Brian Azzarello, writing again, but with Lee Bermejo. Something like
Yeah.
that. So we've split it up. Daniel is doing Before Watchmen Comedian. I'm doing Rorschach. Let me ask you a quick question, though.
Yeah, go for it.
Does it do the thing in Watchmen where, like, the cover is the first panel?
You asked me as if
Like,
they
does
do
the-
that in Watchmen?
Do they do that in the Comedian one?
No.
Okay, because they do that in the Rorschach one. But only for 3 of the 4 issues? Which is,
I think okay. I did notice that because I flipped through Rorschach. And I noticed that. All right, so I think so. We know J.G. Jones.
yeah, he was on some 52 stuff, right? I could be wrong.
Yeah, he probably did.
Yeah. What do we know him from?
We primarily know him from Wanted.
Ooh, that's right. Yep.
Right. And I think he's perfect for this.
Nice.
Just like his art style, I think just works really well for a story around the comedian and just kind of like his like, I guess, demeanor or whatever.
yeah.
And so I thought like there's kick-ass artists on all of these.
I agree. They did really stack this and do it justice, I feel like.
Right. So they did the best they could.
The best of their ability to do it justice, yeah.
Regardless of, what other people or what people like say about it. I think it's mostly got kind of a negative rap, the whole Before Watchmen thing, because how
Yeah.
do you even like approach
Are you a
doing
Watchmen
anything
purist?
around Watchmen? Me? No.
Yeah.
I
I'm
like
not
this
either.
a lot.
Yeah, I think these are cool.
I think it's like, it's fun. You don't get like a lot,
Yeah.
from this, but it's still like fun, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's like relatively self-contained and it doesn't like rely too much on Watchmen,
Yep.
which is good. And I think the covers of the comedian are like the most disturbing.
It's very off-putting. This
Like-
first one especially.
Yeah, this what do they call that? Like a
A gimp mask?
gimp mask.
Yeah.
So issue #1, the comedian's like friends with like JFK.
The president.
Like John F. Kennedy and like
Cool.
and like the Kennedy family.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, like the first couple pages, he's playing football with the boys, and
Is
he,
JFK Jr. in here? JFK Jr.? No, it's RFK Jr., isn't it? Never mind.
oh, like the person running for president now?
Yeah. Never mind. I got them mixed up.
I don't think so. No, I think that was a little before this. He even has like a conversation with like Jackie Kennedy. I think it's because he was like a part of like he's like a superhero and it's just kind of one of those things like Superman being friends with the president or whatever.
He draws a pretty good RFK.
But yeah, no, he did pretty good with
JFK,
that.
I mean.
And it's been that was helpful. It also talks about like Bobby Kennedy, which I didn't really know anything about.
Mm-hmm.
And so this kind of like made me like Google like some stuff about like history.
So you're learning. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
I guess JFK. Okay, so sorry. Tangent.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Do you remember when's the last time you watched the Watchmen movie?
Dude, it's been, I think the last time was when we watched it.
The first time.
On the couch.
Okay. So
No, I think I've seen it.
like 7 years ago maybe.
Yeah, it's been over 5, I think.
So at the beginning there's like the opening sequence after like the comedian dies.
Yep.
And it's like Bob Dylan's like the times they are changing. And there's like a montage of like them in the past.
Yep.
Or whatever. There is a moment of the comedian and he's got a sniper in Dallas and he shoots like John F. Kennedy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like he's the shooter and it wasn't like
Ooh.
John Wilkes Booth.
No, that's
Is that
that's the Abraham Lincoln one. I don't know who the JFK one is, but
Tell me first letter. I'm normally pretty good at this.
how do I say JFK assassinator?
Yeah, assassinator. Assassin?
Okay, it is L. Starts with an L. 3 names.
Lee Harvey Oswald?
Yes.
Yeah, and so that was just kind of a thing that they put in that
Just for
as
funsies,
like a
I guess.
gag.
Yeah.
Because like that doesn't happen in this.
Yeah, because he's friends with him.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, because this came out before the movie.
Oh, okay.
Before
okay,
Watchmen
okay.
stuff. Because if
Did
that,
you know
like,
that reading it? So
No, I was like, where's this going? Because I was like, oh, he has to murder his friend or whatever. That's crazy.
he's gonna kill him.
He's got to murder the president. Who's high enough to
He's
order
playing
such a
football
thing?
with his kids.
Yeah, I know.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but so this is all fictional Watchmen world.
You sure?
And so in this, JFK is like involved with like a gangster, for corruption reasons, I suppose.
Yeah.
And the gangster's like wife or something is very talkative and might talk and expose the president.
Right.
So the comedian has to like seduce her and then kill her.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's like first couple of pages. They're on this like relationship where JFK will just call the comedian at like the bar and stuff, and they'll talk about things, just normal stuff. They're talking about the game,
Gotta have a bro. Yeah.
the Browns and shit for some reason. The comedian like lives in like New York, I guess, and he was asked to go visit like JFK, and he heads down to like the airport, but then the FBI stops him at the airport because they have to go take down Moloch in a warehouse because he's like running drugs or something.
Okay.
Right. And
You read the Moloch before Watchmen before, right?
yeah,
When we did
because the
last
Moloch
episode?
one is like 2 issues and it was just in the back of like the Night Owl stuff.
Okay.
I said Owlman last episode, but it is Night Owl.
Night Owl.
Owlman is from like Earth 3 or something.
Yeah, whatever. Close enough.
And so the FBI, they start shooting, but comedian takes things in his own hands and he just starts blowing everyone away to, speed it up. And he gets up to Moloch's office, and that's when on the news, Moloch is crying and watching on TV that they announced that John F. Kennedy has been assassinated.
Whoa.
And
But the comedian's there. How
yeah,
do you do both?
Yeah, what? And so comedian's pretty upset about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, he starts drinking Moloch's booze, and he like feels this guilt, like if he had gone to go like visit, maybe he could have prevented this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the first issue.
Yep. Nice.
So issue 2, I think they're watching like, so Bobby Kennedy and the comedian, they're watching Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali. He's like in a boxing match. They're like ringside. I guess if you're the president, you probably get ringside.
Yeah, good seats.
Ringside ticks. And he's talking about how he's gonna run, and the comedian is saying like, oh, it's like too late for you to run, like
Strange, very timely.
yeah, very weird. I looked it up, and he started running in like March, and so this isn't accurate, but like it doesn't even matter. But
Yeah.
he's just that's like all they're talking about while this fight's going on. And then I think the FBI or something tasked the comedian with like going to Vietnam for the reason of being kind of like a Captain America in like the
Okay.
first Avenger, to kind of be like a
The front man.
raise spirits and whatnot. He's sent to.
So he's known, like the comedian's like pretty known at this point, or like is he going to
he's-
like Vietnam and the soldiers are like, fuck yeah, we got the comedian.
Yeah, because like the Minutemen were like a thing.
Oh, that's right.
And
Okay.
that was like a team that the comedian was a part of.
Got it.
And
Okay.
he's like a very like seasoned hero at this
Right.
point. So this is a very like confusing issue because it's kind of like The Sopranos, where like no one's really telling you what's going on, but you have to pick it up based off the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking as if like him and the soldiers and whatnot, they're talking about as if America's fighting the war for one reason and then Vietnam's fighting for like a different reason, but they just happen to be against each other.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And they go on like a few stakeouts or whatever, a few raids and whatnot, a lot of shooting and stuff. A lot of shooting in this book. Doesn't seem like all that much happens.
It's a pretty good action scene, it looks like.
Yeah, no, it was good stuff. I guess there's this thing that this outfit is doing, or this, I don't know, this group, and they're like
The like battalion.
Yeah, basically. This platoon or whatever.
Platoon, yeah.
So they're somehow exporting drugs from Vietnam, like, to America in order to, like, fund the war in a way. So, like, so that their lives can be, like, a little bit better when they're, like, in the war. And they didn't specify who it was. It was, like, the Viet Cong or some Vietnamese people, like, attacked their shipment. And so they use, like, their military resources to, like, fight back and just stop these, like, just pirates or whatever.
Okay.
And smugglers. And so a lot of, like, kind of crooked shit, like, shit that you don't really, like, think about or would expect would happen, like, overseas was going on during this. And that's what, like, all these boats are for.
Yeah.
Then issue 3.
So the comedian's just kind of like a part of, like, the weird parts of war, like the dark parts of war, it seems like.
Oh, yeah. And they definitely touch on that in, like, Watchmen. You know, so this is just kind of some more in depth of that. He does this cool thing where he draws, like, the smiley face on, like, his helmet.
That is cool.
Which I think is neat.
Yeah.
Just like any symbolism of, like, the smiley face anywhere, I think is, like, rad.
Yeah. Or like the little splat of blood.
Yeah.
I see that a couple times on mine. Okay, issue 3.
Issue 3, don't rush me.
Get on with it, Daniel.
All right, what was going on here? So he comes back from Vietnam, and there's a lot of protesters. No, I don't think anyone in, like, in real life were really, like, stoked about the war.
Yeah, it was it was a very controversial war for sure.
Right. I'm not super brushed up on history, but this is how I get my history, you know?
From comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was, like, in Spider-Man Life Story, like, the earlier issues were, like, about the Vietnam War and about, like, Harry Osborn going to the war.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
yeah.
this is how I learned about the Vietnam War, but, like, people were, like, definitely protesting it and stuff.
Right. And so this is also, like, a time where there's, you know, a lot of racial inequality, and so there's a lot of riots and stuff like that, and the police, they can only, like, just stop or push people with, like, riot shields and stuff like that. And but the comedian will just, like, go into a riot where there's, like, a white shooter and just, like, shoot them down when the police aren't supposed to use, like, lethal force.
Cool.
You know, so just kind of take matters in his own hands.
Yeah.
And then just basically stop people who are, like, causing, like, all the ruckus. And there's another smiley face thing where he's got, like, the smiley face painted on his face.
I was just looking at that. It looks like his mustache is, like, part of the smiley face.
Is the smiley face?
It's part of the mouth. So that's interesting.
Genius.
They nailed it.
Yeah, and so it's mostly just a big riot scene going on in the city. And it's just kind of showing that he's, like, using his bad tactics in order to be more effective. And the police chief, it doesn't roll with that and just keeps complaining to, like, Bobby Kennedy and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like, that's all really to say about that one.
So what is he, like, is he, like, trying to do anything throughout the course of the series, or is he just being, like, ordered around, or just trying to put himself, you know, what, like, does he have any, like, particular motivations?
It's kind of more like a character study kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
just
it's
kind of like throughout his life, it seems like.
Yeah. I mean, it seems all within, like, a few years.
Yeah.
And so it's not like an overarching plot
right
through these 6 issues.
It's just what the comedian was doing through these specific historical events.
Yeah. So I guess this trade can work in this omnibus form because it's just kind of
they're not necessarily connected
to what comedian's up to.
Yeah.
So issue 4, he's been in Vietnam for, like, a few years, and there's, like, another platoon that comes in and sees, like, the aftermath of what his platoon did, where they're just raiding villages, they're, like, killing, like, the men and whatnot, and just burning everything, even if they're, like, innocent, you know, they're not, like, engaging.
Yeah.
But then again, a lot of these people are armed, you know, in case something like this happens.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so a line that somebody said was, like, that he was sent to further the war effort and not further the war, you know, which is kind of what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's, like, kind of on the Viet Cong's, like, playing field and, like, stooping to their level.
Right.
As far as, like, I try to look up and see if there's any specific type of war strategy that the Viet Cong used or anything, but I couldn't really.
Isn't that like guerrilla warfare famously?
Is that where that's from?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was doing that.
Okay. Yeah.
I wasn't sure. There's a lot of tactics. Okay.
Not a big history guy in school, were you?
Yeah. I
wasn't either, but
I got by.
Yeah.
There's like
I remember that was one of their
stuff.
like main advantages that they would try and use.
Yeah.
Because they'd like hide in their own forests and stuff and find encampments and then just like wait till the nighttime or whatever and then like pretty much jump them.
Yeah.
Does he use any Agent Orange?
What is Agent Orange?
That's the very deadly chemical that they used on like the trees and like the forest to try and like deforest as much as possible so that they don't see, so that the Viet Cong don't really have anywhere to hide, or if they were hiding in there they'd get really fucked up by the chemical.
No, but it seems effective.
Yeah. I went to Vietnam and they have like a Vietnam War museum.
Oh.
And it has like a bunch of like American tanks, helicopters, guns and stuff that was left behind when we left the war.
Whoa.
And it's really fucking interesting, but there's a absolutely horrifying Agent Orange section.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows birth defects from Agent Orange, people getting like their face kind of like burned off and stuff. It's like very visceral images of people affected by Agent Orange. So
yeah, they definitely like leave out a lot of bodies as kind of like warnings and stuff like that.
yeah.
And so it's very gruesome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This one had a lot of just kind of day in the life kind of stuff in Vietnam.
Right.
Hanging out with the boys and whatnot. And there's like drugs. There's like acid in Vietnam. And I guess the comedian was pretty popular while he was there. And then it was his own like comedian brand of acid.
The smiley face.
Yeah, with the smiley faces on
Oh,
him.
cool. That's fun.
Yeah. And so they go on like on another mission like while they're tripping acid.
Nice.
So,
Perfect time.
yeah. And that's basically all that happens in that one.
Oh my God, look at this cover.
Oh, his company. That's what they call it. His company.
Company.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, this cover is crazy.
Yeah, that's probably in reference to the chemical Agent Orange because it would look like that. Nice.
So
this is what, issue 5?
5, yeah.
Okay.
So his company like raids a village. He's like with like some general or whatever, and he's like, I think the general confronted him about his like tactics, and then the comedian just tackles him like out of a helicopter.
Oh, cool.
And so they fell into this forest, and so comedian's just like bringing him along and like throws him on his shoulder or whatever.
Okay.
But there's like it's like a booby trapped forest.
Yep.
And so he's just kind of trying to keep himself and the general alive, but they get like outnumbered, and the general ends up like dying anyway. There's like a lot of yapping about like war strategy, and the way that the comedian like sees himself is like above all else, like he's a patriot, and that's kind of his kind of motto in his head.
Yeah,
is that everything he's doing is like for the betterment of America, regardless of tactics and whatnot. And there's someone in his company who like shoots himself because he can't like deal with like the guilt and won't like fight the war like the way that the comedian wants.
Yeah. I mean, because it seems like he's like beating up old people, children maybe sometimes. So yeah, I think he's... Oh, I see this panel where the guy shoots himself. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So now it's just comedian alone? Or does he still have his boy? No, he's got some people with him, I think, right?
Yeah. And so he's about to save the general, but the general ends up dying. And after the comedian's time in the war is over, the leadership suggests hiding his like total body count of what like who the comedian has killed to like from the media, just to make it seem like
he's still a good guy.
Yeah, he's still like, you know, the
a hopeful Captain America
guy.
type.
Yeah, he's trying to help the war efforts, and so it's just kind of he's able to be like corrupt because of like who he is and like who he's friends with.
Like because of his popularity, he's able to get away with whatever
war crime.
Yeah, definitely lots of war crimes. It seems like.
Right. Yeah, and then issue 6, the comedian is relieved of duty, you know, from the war. And the government is afraid that he's like inspired the enemy with like his war tactics. So he's just back to his normal crime fighting and whatnot. He's looking for somebody, I don't know,
shit to do.
He like raids like a a supervillain bar called the Rat's Nest. Yeah.
Little on the nose if you're trying to be a secret.
Yeah, and Rorschach and Night Owl, they jump in the window.
Yeah, look at them.
And they're like, what the fuck? We've been like searching for this guy for like months. It's just some rat dude or whatever. He's just a dude with like a rat helmet thing.
I like that.
But, you know, with the comedian's tactics, he just goes straight for it and like doesn't do this looking for
proof
evidence thing. You know, he just like, he knows he's a bad guy and needs to die.
Dude, I bet Owlman, right?
Night Owl.
I bet Night Owl was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, I'm an owl. He's a rat, you know. Owls eat rats. This will be great.
Looking for my prey.
This will be a good headline.
Yeah. And that's the last time we see of them.
Yeah.
So he's got this like friend in like the FBI that he meets up with at some cabaret place.
Like a Hooters?
Yeah, basically. And the FBI has got word of an attempt on Kennedy's life. Bobby Kennedy's life.
Yeah. By an attempt, do they elaborate on what that was like?
Like he's
like
someone's gonna try and assassinate.
Oh, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they just got word of it. There's a cool thing that the FBI says is that Nixon wants to win the war using the big guns. And they're clearly talking about
nukes.
Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he goes to the war and blows them away.
He does go in the war.
And in this history, like they win the Vietnam War, like America does.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. That would have been really cool to see like comedian in the Vietnam War doing his shit. And then like in the background, you see like Dr. Manhattan all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That would have been cool because
they
were both there at the same time, right?
Yeah.
That's when...
I guess the second time around, that's like when they...
That's when Dr. Manhattan in the comic sees comedian like punch a pregnant woman, right?
Kills a pregnant woman.
Kills a pregnant woman, yeah.
Like shoots her, I think.
That would have been cool to see, I guess. But I guess that's already in Watchmen. So do you think they were trying to like specifically avoid anything that was... Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yeah, they would like talk about things that happen, I guess. But they wouldn't show like the same panels.
Yeah,
you know?
Okay. That's fair.
Bobby Kennedy's like in his like room for some reason when he's sleeping, which is kind of weird. And Bobby Kennedy tells the comedian that he knows about, like, he calls it the massacre that the comedian did
in Vietnam.
Yeah, and so it's kind of hurting their friendship a little bit.
Why is? Did you ever think of the comedian as a whitey tighties person?
It's just the times, Nathan.
I guess
this is
so.
like the 60s, I think.
Yeah, they didn't have boxers.
Guess not.
I guess not, dude. He is ripped.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, that's cool.
I guess to earn the public's trust or something, Bobby Kennedy wants the comedian to confess to the press about like the massacre.
Okay.
And then that's when the comedian also shares with Bobby that there's like going to be an assassination attempt.
Oh, they didn't know, or Bobby Kennedy didn't know that there's going to be an attempt?
I guess,
He was just
or maybe he
assigned-
knew about it already or something, but
okay.
it's something they talk about.
Got it.
And there's like some big speech, and the comedian's kind of like a bodyguard kind of thing. He's like in a suit near him.
Oh, weird.
And they go in like the back of wherever this speech was.
I like how on his suit he still has a smiley face pin.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah.
They
So
go
you
in
know
the back
who's
into the kitchen, and everyone freaks out because there's like a shooter, and everyone's like getting down and whatnot. And then the next page, you see the comedian leaving, getting in a car, and then throwing a gun into his passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows that he was the assassinate for Bobby Kennedy.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then he leaves, and then there's blood on his little Watchmen bin.
Whoa.
So I think...
So was that just a coincidence that there was like another shooter there?
I don't think there was another shooter.
Oh, okay. Because like
there's like an image of like another shooter, but it's in like black and white.
So you think that's just what the story of the public knows,
Right.
But in reality, it's the comedian.
Right. And so
Okay.
I don't know what that implies, as if like maybe the FBI thought it was best that
Bobby
Bobby Kennedy is assassinated.
Is that real life?
Yeah, he was assassinated.
Whoa,
Before
really?
he could like win or something, or before he could like run.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know that.
He needed to die. Yeah, that was something I learned.
What an unlucky family.
Yeah.
I say unlucky, but that's probably a little bit more.
Didn't play the cards right.
Oh man, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So the last issue is pretty good.
Yeah, that's
kind of wraps up the whole thing.
That's kind of cool. So it's kind of just like just kind of comedian throughout all these different eras, because he's a pretty big character.
Yeah.
In the Watchmen, for
even though
being
he's
killed in the first page, pretty much, or first couple pages at least. So it's kind of cool. Like this kind of gives it room for him to elaborate a little bit more on it.
Yeah, because a lot of the Watchmen is just flashbacks to earlier.
Yeah, like a lot of it's like, man, the comedian really fucked me up.
Yeah, and showing like just like the history of that team.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You know what's crazy? I still think that Jeffrey Dean Morgan would make a perfect comedian now.
Yeah, no, he used to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
He was so big in that movie.
I haven't.
Like his arms are huge.
Really? That's cool.
And then like when you see him as like Negan, his arm, he's like very thin.
Yeah,
and it's like shocking because I'm like, you were so huge. Why didn't you just like, I don't know, maintain that?
Just keep it.
Yeah, just be huge. Because Negan's always drawn pretty big as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily like a muscular kind of thing
in the comic, but yeah,
I've just seen like
he feels
pages.
like Billy Butcher in the comics stature, right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So should we wait for our ratings till I'm done with mine?
Yeah.
Okay. So very good.
I didn't even think about ratings honestly, but
so now I'll do the Rorschach one. Yours was 6 issues, right?
Yeah.
Mine is only 4. I definitely feel that a little bit in this comic, but I still quite enjoyed it, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit weird because we get Rorschach origin stuff in Watchmen. So they don't really touch like origin stuff. And obviously I think this is set 5 years prior to the comic.
It's just a little tale.
It's like a little tale. It's not even like a year 1 necessarily, but it feels like a year 2 or 3 of like Rorschach.
Rorschach number 1 is on page 277, Nathan.
Okay.
Because that makes sense.
So,
but the book opens itself at this point.
Yeah. So it's issue 1. It's 5 years prior to the comic, Watchmen. And it opens with a dude that's like carving sentences into the corpse of a naked woman. And so it's saying things like, can't help myself, can't see myself, but I don't need to, like weird stuff like that.
But neither can you.
Oh yeah, by the way, the art is by Lee Bermejo, same writer, Brian Azzarello is the comedian.
Yeah, this is incredible art and covers.
Yeah, he's great. I've seen him do like a couple things. I think probably the most notable one is like the Batman Damned. Same creative team, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Of these two working together. So I think they play off of each other very well throughout this whole book.
Oh, yeah, they're the same team. Okay.
And
is there something else Lee Bermejo's done that we know about?
Yeah, I need to look it up because it's going to bother me now.
What makes his artwork so strong is like the colorist Barbara Clardo or Ciardo, and it just fits so perfectly with his pencils, and it makes like the 60s 70s New York like perfect. Like it looks incredible.
Yeah, it does make it look very grim.
Yeah, very grimy.
He's done like Joker graphic novel.
He did that Joker thing with
Joker, yeah.
Brian Azzarello.
I think that's the one that we were talking about.
Yeah, it's that thing with like where Joker has like the scars.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, he's like
done some Hellblazers.
He's like a young looking chap.
Yeah, he is actually pretty young. I didn't imagine him like that. I don't know why, but yeah.
I just imagine like an old grizzled man with
just like a lot Brian of Azzarello. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, there's this dude. So this guy that we see carving into a dead woman, he's like a serial killer named the Bard, I believe.
Just dumb name.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Rorschach is already Rorschach, and he's doing what he can do to like clean up New York. And it starts with beating up a drug dealer that is like trying to jerk off in one of those private booths.
It's so weird.
Yeah, those things are weird. Apparently they're only 25 cents though, so that's a banger deal, I feel like.
Good price.
I don't know what the inflation rate was, but this is like 1977, so I feel like that's a pretty good price to reserve a jerk off room. And like he's like pretty brutal to this dude who's like just a drug dealer, he like breaks his arm in this interaction.
He's looking for the source.
Yeah, so he's trying to question this guy, figure out where he gets his drugs from, and Rorschach gets led into a sewer, and that ends up being a trap, and Rorschach is beat up by like a bunch of guys that are there, and we see kind of like the main villain of this book. He's like the main like kingpin gangster. His name is Rawhead, and I think that's because his face is all burnt, and he's
very Deadpool-esque.
Yeah, very Deadpool-esque, but like if he was wearing a white suit, you know. So
yeah.
It's pretty much just, I don't know, just kingpin.
It seems like kind of an out of place character.
Yeah, he's
in,
a
like,
little
design.
forgettable. I forgot what his name was at the very end. I'd like go back and look it up.
I read like the first 2 issues of this, and when you were describing him, like, is it Raw Dog? Or...
Oh my god, it's Raw Dog's men. So one of the things I like about Lee Bermejo is that like there's a lot of action in this book, and I just really like how he renders people's clothes.
Oh yeah, he's killer at that.
He's like, he always does like
a lot
tons
of dark
folds.
shadows.
Yeah, a lot of folds in the clothes, and it almost kind of informs some of the movement that's going on. So I like that a lot. I think he does a great Rorschach because, you know, this is a more like 3D Rorschach, I would say, because the Dave Gibbons art obviously like kind of 1980s, very flat. So I think this is a good representation for like the modern era.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. I think his hat looks a little bit small in some issues. But
I didn't even notice.
But I could just be wrong. Just straight up.
I love this scene because he's like outnumbered.
Yeah.
And he gets like the shit beat out of him.
But he does pretty well.
He does pretty well.
But he does get like he does get beat.
Yeah.
You know, defeated.
I love Rorschach, but I also love when he gets the shit beat out of him.
It's so cool.
Because he's like, he's not like a character that's like meant to be cool, you know? Like he's a smelly guy. He just eats beans and stuff.
Yeah.
And
he wasn't like specifically trained necessarily.
Right.
He's just a brawler that like has figured it out along the way.
Yeah. He's just like, and he's not like as like bad as he looks, you know? I feel like the way he handles a lot of these situations is kind of like how Batman would if Batman was like a real person trying to fight crime, you know? Yeah, you're not going to just always have the upper hand and beat everybody.
So the police find the body of the girl that was carved up in the very beginning and determine that it's the MO of a killer called the Bard. Rorschach recovers from getting beaten up a bunch, and he goes to a drugstore, steals some drugs, like painkillers probably, and then he goes to his typical diner spot the next day.
Look at this fucking car.
Oh yeah, it's a cool car. Wait, look at the reflection in the building.
It looks flawless. Yeah,
that's so cool. What a shiny car.
Yeah.
And so Rorschach goes to his typical diner spot the next day, and there's a waitress there that definitely knows him, knows that he's like a regular, but has never known his name. And I kind of like that Rorschach is the kind of dude to just like find a spot that he likes and then just like routinely go there like all the time.
Yeah, like
he's definitely not the kind of guy to be like, oh, let me try this like ramen place. You know, let's see what happens. But he
goes to the same diner that's like probably a little shit.
Gets the same order, you know. Probably drinks a black coffee. I can't imagine he gets milk in his shit. So
yeah, I always get the same shit.
And so covers for this book are insane. The first one I'm like kind of iffy on, but like second issue cover, it's like him looking down at like the blood stains that are like dripping from his face like on the diner table. Yeah, and it's like it looks like a Rorschach. Isn't that interesting? But what I like about it, Daniel, but then the ketchup on the eggs, does that look familiar? That little splat, the ketchup splat on the eggs, or maybe it's blood, I don't know. It's the same one. It's the one, Daniel.
He should have had like over easy eggs in the blood of his eye.
Oh my god. And like little pepper for the eyes.
It'd be so dumb.
It'd be so on the nose. It's funny. But like this is the first panel is like the cover issue, so
yeah, it's definitely like less detailed though.
Yeah, for sure. But just like same composition, same idea.
Right.
So Rorschach gets his breakfast, and we find out the waitress, after all the times that he's been served by this waitress, doesn't really know his name.
What's his name?
Walter.
Oh.
Walter Kovacs? Does that sound right?
Kovacs? Something like that.
Yeah. Rorschach leaves, and he's kind of just like walking around as Walter, but he wants to continue hunting for like Rawhead and like his men. And he attacks a few of them when he sees them just kind of out in the public, but obviously they don't know who Walter is. They only know Rorschach. So he's able to like get this semi truck. I guess the keys were inside of it, because he takes a semi truck and just rams it into one of the guys, and then he's able to like throw a Molotov cocktail at it and just like create this explosion.
But the goons like don't know who it was.
They don't know like who the fuck did that shit. And so one guy survives and he takes the calling card, which is like a Rorschach symbol on like a little note, and he brings that to Rawhead. And
Rawhead has a tiger.
Who does have a tiger, which that comes back.
Oh, okay.
Rorschach fucking loves to throw a Molotov in this book. Like, I don't know why he
one of
had
his superpowers.
He like had one on him in this particular situation where it seems like he just happened to find one of the guys.
Yeah, he like ran
So
into
I'm
that
like,
situation.
where'd you get that? Did you have to like prep that before, or did you just have it on you?
It seemed like the truck he was in was like a food delivery truck.
Yeah, he's lucky that the keys were in there already. 'Cause
Yeah.
that made a pretty good distraction. Yeah, Rawhead has a tiger, which is a bit weird because they live in like New York, and I assume that tigers, if you're gonna own one, needs a lot of space. So it seems a bit weird.
He's got a big club.
Also, if Walter's just kind of like walking around New York and people are trying to figure out like who just attacked them, I would probably assume it was the guy with like a bunch of bruises on his face
And dresses like Rorschach.
and like dresses kind of grim and like, yeah, because he like has a coat and shit on too, so you could see like the resemblance.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of funny. But Rorschach, he's like all beat up. He doesn't have any food at home, so he's like, let me go to the diner. He gets to the diner. The owner's like, you cannot eat here. You're like very bloody right now. But the waitress is like, it's okay, I'll serve him. Rorschach throws up blood on the table, like a lot of blood, it seems like. And he passes out, and then he wakes up in the emergency room 3 days later in the hospital. And so he just steals medication from the hospital and he sneaks out. But then later, Rorschach beats up like a pimp that works for Rawhead, and then he starts like questioning him. And that's the end of that issue pretty much. But there's some good action here. So like one of the things that Lee Bermejo does that to my knowledge is like I've only seen him do in this book. I haven't seen a whole lot of his stuff, but he has like these like movement lines that are like pretty subtle, but pretty good at like contextualizing like the fast movement.
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes when you see speed lines in comics, they like stretch to like the end of the panel, you know. But these ones are just like little renderings to show like some of the movement, which I think is pretty effective.
And the pimp hits us with a hawk tua.
He does, dude. I was gonna say that there's a hawk tua in this book, which
he spells it hawk thu.
yeah, but pretty close. This book's strangely timely, you know.
Yeah, weird.
I think there's also like a subtle subplot of like the serial killer, the bard, like hunting down his next victim. And then it's kind of interesting. So it's like this page where there's like a girl and she's like walking home or something. There's just like a guy in the background.
Yeah, they think they know who he is.
Yeah. And so it just like it's interesting because it just happens to be near where Rorschach is, but I think it's just to show that there's like always bad shit happening if you like look for it kind of in New York in this time. So and then at the end of this issue there's a really sick line that I like where the guy that's working for Rawhead tells Rorschach to go to hell, and then Rorschach responds with, I plan to once you give me the directions. And I was like, that's a good line.
All right.
Yeah. So issue 3, this is the best cover.
The shoe cover.
It's like a shoe that's supposed to be the Rorschach mask, and it's kicking through wood, and it just so happens to look like a little fedora.
Yeah, the tread on like his shoes or whatever
is like the Rorschach blots.
Yeah. That is a
good cover.
Interesting one.
So Rorschach's still questioning this guy, but more of Rawhead's men bust down the door to get Rorschach. And Rorschach throws like a thing to distract, like a gas can thing to distract them while he gets away. He tries to escape by jumping on like the hotel sign, the neon sign, but it like falls off like the hinges, and he falls like a couple stories, it seems like, trying to climb down the neon sign. But he like immediately gets into a cab who just like drives him away. And this is interesting because I feel like the cab driver looks exactly like Robert De Niro's character in Taxi Driver. Like it's
the
like
mole and everything.
Yeah, mole. Yeah, does he have a mole on that side? Probably, but like it's definitely that dude's character. I feel like.
That's funny.
Yeah, and so then we see another victim just out in the open with like the body carvings from the bard. We see some nipple in here. That's good stuff.
Nice.
Separately, Walter goes into the diner to ask the waitress to dinner as like a thank you for bringing him to the hospital. And he even, Daniel, tells her his name is Walter. So that's a big step. Big step for Rorschach. That'll
definitely go well.
Yeah. she gets off like pretty late, like 11, I think. So they just decide we'll do some dessert. So Rorschach's got a date.
Hey.
Let's go. So Rawhead tries to set up a trap to get Rorschach. And what he does is that he acts like he's going into like one of his clubs, but without his normal like bodyguards around him. And Rorschach is there, and he notices that this is probably a trap because of how easy it is. And so he leaves. But then he gets like caught by just like two random guys in an alley. The city has like a citywide blackout, and then Rorschach uses this opportunity to let the tiger loose into the club that is like Rawhead's club. But this is when Walter is like supposed to take the waitress out. Like this is all happening. He's just kind of like acting on this opportunity. Mm-hmm. So the waitress instead gets walked home by the Bard, the serial killer.
Ooh.
So that's no good.
So you think the Bard knows who Rorschach is?
The Bard is not connected to Rorschach at all.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting. I think I know why they went with this, but they never interact in this book. And so...
That's neat.
Yeah. I think the idea is that like when he does Rorschach's journal throughout this. What's interesting is that the font changes and it becomes more handwritten. Like I think he was using like a typewriter or something before.
Yeah.
Before it goes like handwritten and like towards the end of the last issue. But I think the idea with like this Bard character is that like it's like he's supposed to be like a representation of like one of his biggest mistakes, I guess, which was, I guess, not protecting this one girl who kind of likes him.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you like the typewriter lettering with like the captions?
No.
Yeah, because there's like a lot of like typos, like purposeful typos.
There's typos that he would exit out, and he would like sometimes accidentally space like some words.
Right.
I think one of them was like rejuvenating or something, but I just saw like reju and then like venating. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? But then I realized it was like a typo as well. Yeah, I think I prefer just the handwriting because that lends itself to some like creative lettering. I feel like lettering decisions if you have to like make it look hand lettered. Yeah,
I thought like the typo thing could have been cool if it was like less frequent.
This guy sucks at typing.
I mean,
for somebody that has a journal, you'd think you'd be better at typing,
right?
Know? So, also just before we go into the last issue, it's crazy that he keeps the tiger just in this club.
Yeah, just in like the liquor closet.
Yeah, and it's just like one little lock in there and just let him loose. So we see some tiger action in there. He starts like attacking the men. I don't know how there's like a citywide blackout, but there's still like a disco ball inside the club that's like lighting things up. I don't really know how that works, but maybe they have a backup generator. So issue 4
for the disco ball specifically.
Yeah, so you can't, the party doesn't stop. So issue 4, Rorschach is fighting everybody in this club. He eventually gets beaten down. Rawhead takes the Rorschach mask and puts it on before knocking Walter out. Meanwhile, the waitress is being walked home during this like citywide blackout. There's people like taking advantage and rioting kind of in the streets or like trying to steal stuff from stores. And she's with the serial killer who leads her down an alley. And Walter wakes up and he's like tied to a bed. And there's this scene where like Rawhead is on top of him while he's tied down to a bed. And it's just like not it.
Pretty kinky.
It's like, so he's like sitting on top of like his crotch and he's like, I got you. Oh my God. It's like not very sinister because he definitely looks like he's about to like blow him or something or like, do tricks on his shit. So Rawhead decides that he likes wearing the mask and he's going to go be Rorschach for a little bit. And so he goes out into the blacked out city to like steal shit with everybody else that's stealing shit while Walter gets like tortured. But everything gets resolved when the tiger suddenly just out of nowhere attacks the guy that's torturing Rorschach. Presumably they're like upstairs or something. So I don't know how the tiger like goes upstairs, maybe unlocks the door or whatever. But the tiger just shows up to save Rorschach. Rorschach somehow unties himself, so he's all good now. And then the people of the city start to beat up Rawhead because they see him like stealing a TV from somebody that's already stealing a TV. And so... like, I think the idea is it's like when the city needs to like come together to like stop something, then they will when it's needed. But the context of this doesn't make any sense because they were all already like out stealing shit anyway. So if I see somebody stealing a TV from somebody that's already stealing a TV, I would be like, that's just the game.
Yeah.
You know, like
No rules here.
Yeah, no, like he's the bigger guy, he gets the TV. But like they all beat him up like he's like Pennywise the clown, and I don't know, the city like resolves it, I guess. So I don't really understand that. And then we also see that the waitress survived the cuts from the serial killer dude, and he gets reported to the police. And then it's like a time jump to a couple years later. The Bard is let go from prison, so he's back into the city, and Rorschach manages to track him, and he beats him up in his house. And that's like the end of the series. But this is where we see like the change in font for the journal like 3 years later. And you know, I don't know why like there's no explanation why he like goes to handwriting. I guess he just likes it better. But
well, this last page, it says Rorschach's journal.
Yeah.
Right? Does he say Rorschach's journal with a typewriter?
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe he was like, it would have been nice to be like, I didn't like a typewriter.
Maybe to keep it all in like one place.
Yeah. I don't know. So, but I like the handwriting better.
Dude, the next one is Ozymandias, whatever issue, and it's Len Wein writing, like the creator of Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
And then Jay Lee as the artist.
Jay Lee's great. He's a good artist for this.
He's very good, yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look half bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking words, but
yeah, Ozymandias is
he's a yapper.
He's a yapper. So with that, we'll go into Back Matter Matters.
Yep.
All right.
Back Matter Matters.
We get some before Watchmen covers, and my favorite ones are definitely the Jim Lee ones. Yeah, so there's the first one's for the comedian covers. So it's one by Jim Lee, Scott Williams, Alex Sinclair, and he draws a pretty tough comedian.
Oh yeah, these are kick-ass.
Yeah. Then we get Eduardo Rizzo on one for the comedian. Tim Bradstreet, pretty cool. These are like all pretty stylized cover. Dude, there's a John Paul Leon cover, which is fucking awesome.
That's tough.
I feel like he should have gotten one of his own as well.
Yeah, that could have worked.
Kind of like
well.
he feels like sort of a modern like Dave Gibbons almost. So
yeah,
it would make sense if he was on one. Brian Stelfreeze, Gary Frank gets one too. He seems like a good option, not just because he did Doomsday Clock later, but and then Raphael Albuquerque, pretty fun. And then we see Jim Lee do a Rorschach.
I don't know about this. The mask.
Too thin, right? The little blotches. They don't look like blotches. They just look like little.
It's like the dude from the Inhumans. That
Black Bolt?
No, the one with who
Karnak?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. Like markings on his face.
Yeah, like the newer one.
Yep. Jim Steranko does a pretty cool,
that's tough.
Like abstract one.
That's like my favorite one. I think.
Yeah, Jock does one.
Dang.
A pretty fucking hard one too, where he's like screaming through the rips in his mask. We get like a photography one, I guess.
It's got to be, yeah.
A Chip Kid. It looks like just a POV of what Rorschach sees, I guess. But this cover creates lore, because is this what Rorschach's seeing all the time, and then like the Rorschach blotches are just like moving the entire time in his face?
I don't think so.
Does it ever explain what his mask is?
Yeah, there was some fancy dress made by like Dr. Manhattan or something, to where like the color of the fabric like moves, and then I think Rorschach just made like a mask out of it or something.
Okay,
it's like a page in Watchmen.
Okay, we get Ivan Reis one, so they got some like top dog artists. We see a statue design by Lee Bermejo for Rorschach. Lee Bermejo before Watchmen promo art, where he draws like all the characters. That's pretty cool.
That's sick.
He draws like a pretty rendered Dr. Manhattan, which is interesting.
Yeah, he's just shredded.
Yeah. And then we see some before Watchmen like cover sketches by J.G. Jones, who was on the comedian statue design, and then the biographies for everybody. But pretty good. What would you rate this book, Daniel?
Give it a love it, but with like a vanilla with like M&Ms.
Okay.
You know, not because the M&Ms get cold and then you have to chew on them, or just because like I think it's like classic kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, there's good things in this. It's maybe not something that I like go for often.
Yeah.
But it is like good, and I will enjoy it, even though like it's like simple and isn't the most like complex thing you can order, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I liked most of these that we've done. I think the Rorschach one is good, but I feel like there's a different direction maybe that you could have taken. I just don't know what that would have been, you know?
That was done in Tom King's run, Nathan.
I guess, no, not really, because that's after everything, I think. So,
No, it's not.
is it not?
No.
I don't know. I read the first issue.
You don't remember the end of Watchmen, Nathan?
The end of Watchmen?
Yeah.
No, what happened?
Rorschach's fate.
Well, no, what is it?
Dr. Manhattan blows him up.
Yeah, he blows him up. That's right.
So I don't think it's after.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because he couldn't keep quiet about what happened because there's no justice in that or whatever. And so everyone else had to stay quiet because they thought Ozymandias was right, or at least they couldn't do anything about it at that point.
Okay, I see. Okay. So I don't know. I'd give this is there a yellow ice cream?
Yellow, a lemon sherbet.
Let's do a lemon sherbet with little chocolate chips in the form of a smiley face.
Okay.
And then you get a little cherry syrup.
Yeah, there you go.
It was a little blot. But I give it I like it. No, I'd give it a love it.
Okay.
Because I think it is fun to see just some more context behind these characters. I think any book that kind of just starts in the middle of something and you're like, these characters are kind of cool, I wonder what they're about, is just, a good book in general. And so it's fun to see what kind of inform or where people that aren't the original creators take those, I think that's kind of the most interesting part.
Yeah.
It's what's Brian Azzarello's version of what the comedian was doing,
Yeah, it's not really, because before Watchmen almost implies that it's origin stuff.
Yeah.
But it's literally just stories before Watchmen at some point.
Yeah, it's not some weird secret origins thing.
Yeah.
Like DC used to do. It's
it'd be kind of neat if you just saw kind of the upbringing of the comedian, and kind of how he got to that point.
Yeah.
Or just at the point where he started superheroing.
Mm-hmm.
So
which ones haven't we read yet? The Minutemen?
Night
Owl? No, you did Night Owl.
Night Owl. Silk Spectre. There's a Crimson Corsair one. I don't know what that is. Ozymandias.
Do people say which one's the best? Is there a definitive the best that people typically say? Or?
I don't think so. Oh, and then Dollar Bill.
Dollar Bill. Let's see. Top 10 before Watchmen ranked.
So we only have 2 trades left, essentially.
I found a list for top 10 before Watchmen books ranked. And number 10, the title of it is No One Asked for Crimson Corsair. So that's number 10.
Yeah. Is that even number 1? Is that even in? Is that a character in Watchmen?
I guess so. I don't know.
Maybe they're in the Minutemen.
Number 1's apparently Minutemen.
Wow.
By Darwin Cook. And then
I saw a couple pages of that and it looks sick.
Yeah.
Just because Darwin Cook art, but
yeah, it'd definitely be
who writes
definitely
that?
worth the read. Written and illustrated by Darwin Cook.
Wow. Okay.
Number 2 is Manhattan. Number 3 Silk Spectre. And 4 is Comedian. So
is
they call the comedian cynical Forrest Gump, which is kind of funny.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the Minutemen paired up with the Crimson Corsair?
I think so.
Dang.
Get the best one with the worst one.
That's
move some
tough.
units.
Yeah. Because if they sold these all individually,
there's no Crimson Corsair units going out.
Yeah.
It makes sense though that they did it.
Yeah, and I think it's cool.
It's kind of when you go into a Taco Bell, Pizza Hut.
Yeah. You know why you're there.
Yeah, you don't have to get Pizza Hut.
Yeah, so let's get into the pull list. Colon.
Shove it in your box.
The pull list. What did you shove in your box? Did you go to the shop today?
I did.
Did you get Saga 67?
I got Saga 67. I think that's one of the books I'm going to catch up on the flight when we leave.
Yeah, you're behind by 7 issues, aren't you?
10, I think.
Have you read past the omnibus?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to catch up there just because if this issue came out, that means that they're coming out with shit. So I got to catch up.
Yeah, they'll have another one.
There was a hiatus. I didn't take that chance to catch up.
They just do a hiatus every arc, it seems like.
Which is good.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. So I picked up Saga and then I picked up Ultimate Spider-Man. Number 7.
7? Wow.
Well, yeah, that shit's trucking along. It hasn't been 7 months since it came out, right?
I don't know.
I feel like it hasn't, but it could be. January?
Are they double shipping that?
No. So I don't know. I don't know how it works. Maybe every 3 weeks, but
Did you get Donald Duck becomes Wolverine?
I looked at it and I was like, this looks so fun, and then I didn't pick it up because I haven't read the Infinity Uncle Scrooge one yet.
I don't think that's like...
it's not needed.
Yeah.
It's a good cover, but I was like, if I haven't read the Uncle Scrooge one yet, I started to, but I didn't have a whole lot of time, and then I was like, wow, this is wordy.
So did you only get 2 books today?
I only got the 2 books, but I had a huge week last week, so I was okay with it.
Yeah, I got to balance out to what the month comes out to.
Yeah, I gotta average a certain amount over the month. So yeah. I was okay with 2.
Cool. And then we both watched Deadpool and Wolverine.
We didn't read any comics?
No.
So yeah, let's talk Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah. Full spoilers?
Yeah, full spoilers. If you haven't watched it, you should.
You probably should have if you listen to this.
Yeah.
I think the opening sequence was probably like the best part.
Really?
Or just, it's like the most fun, I guess.
It is a good way to start, because I don't think Deadpool 2 opened up with like a fight scene like that, right?
I couldn't even tell you.
This movie, like, structurally is very similar to Deadpool 1, I guess.
Is it?
Because it like starts off with like a fight scene where you just like is kind of having fun killing a bunch of people, and then it's like, here's how I got here, and there's like a little flashback thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then I guess that's the only part of it that kind of matches up. But
so it's got the same structure as like a Disney movie or something?
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, I mean, they chose a good song, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because it's one that like most people know. It's got a fun dance, and it's kind of funny seeing Deadpool do a little dance.
Yeah.
Do a little dancey dance. Before I saw the movie, I tried to stay away from like trailers and like potential spoilers, because we saw it like 12 hours after the movie came out, or like 18 hours after the movie officially came out.
Yeah.
And there's already spoilers.
I knew there were spoilers out there, but I didn't get any.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid them, but I did get like Deadpool spoilers without context, and it was just in sync.
Okay.
And so when that came up, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I saw
that was a fun scene.
I saw a still of Lady Deadpool, because I think that was from like the second trailer or something.
Oh yeah.
And then at Comic-Con they were they're announcing toys, and it was like Logan in clothes, and then with it came Headpool. And I'm like, fucking Headpool's in this? And I don't know, I was just like,
yeah,
that was an announcement. And so
gotcha. But yeah, so that fight scene was fun. They made a point to not, shit on the Logan movie, and then he does a whole fight scene with Logan's body. So that was an interesting choice, but makes sense. I could see why people would want that to be a definitive end for Logan.
I don't know if they were thinking about it that hard, honestly.
I think people would get angry if they were like, we brought him back just for
it seems like fun. People still did.
What? Get mad?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I think what their goal was is to make sure that like that storyline in that universe or whatever stays like the end for Logan. They don't really care what happens.
It'd be kind of crazy that Logan would just still be in there after like 10 years or whatever it's been. Or
you think someone would go pick him up?
Like he would still be in like a coffin just chilling.
Oh, like what Deadpool thought?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of crazy. So that was fun. The TVA's a part of this.
Mm-hmm. I could see that being like a stretch for people that didn't watch Loki, which is probably a majority.
Probably like more than like 95% of the people that watch this didn't watch Loki, because I feel like Deadpool has a pretty big audience.
It like stands alone.
Isn't like MCU necessarily, because there's definitely people that like
are hardcore like show MCU fans,
Yeah, but not only that, like people that I assume there's a big audience that watches Deadpool that doesn't watch the rest of MCU just because this guy's fun or whatever. So
yeah.
So it's good. I think they did a pretty good job explaining that. The rules, I think, worked a little bit differently than they do in the Loki show, but they do a good job of explaining what you need to know.
Yeah.
So that's nice. There's not a whole lot of like exposition trying to figure shit out there.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
What was the most surprising cameo to you?
It was 100% Gambit to me.
Okay, yeah. That was quite the stretch.
Yeah, but I would say almost as surprising was Wesley Snipes' Blade.
That was crazy.
Because I knew that like one of the just generic villains in the, what do they call it? The Void?
Yeah.
Was apparently like a version of Blade that played as like a TV show, or like a TV show Blade, I guess. And so that was like one of the only things I knew going in, is like they probably didn't get Wesley Snipes' Blade because apparently they had some sort of beef, which I found out is fake. You know that?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Okay. I assumed that it was like real, and so they couldn't get Wesley Snipes, so they just got like this Blade or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was a really good fake out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Gambit one is very surprising because he hasn't had anything come out.
Yeah.
And it's like Channing Tatum Blade or Gambit. And like I remember when that was announced.
Yeah.
I remember where I was when it was announced because I was so excited. I was like working at JCPenney at the time. And they're like, dude, Gambit, Channing Tatum. And
Circa
I'm like,
that
that fucking
2013.
guy? Yeah. And I remember being pissed that it was Channing Tatum because I was like the Magic Mike guy, because that's who he was at the time. But it's cool that he's in this because he clearly has like a passion for Gambit. He was like so excited to be a part of this, and it's cool that he got this.
This movie made it seem like whatever cameo that they wanted, they could have pulled off just because it was funny for a gag and like it could work.
Yeah.
And even like having like Henry Cavill because people thought that'd be a good casting.
Yeah.
That
was like
so there is a universe out there where he's like Wolverine.
Yeah. Any fan castings that like got pretty popular, like that there's a universe, in there where that's a thing.
Essentially.
Did you see he like reloaded his fists to pop his claws?
He like cocked his arms.
I didn't notice that at first, but I saw that and like
I saw a clip later.
I saw a clip after.
Same.
That's pretty funny. We also have for cameos
Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans.
Yeah. Which you spoiled for me.
I did spoil it for you because they did pretty good at making it seem like it's Captain America, and it almost makes sense because he's like not a thing anymore in like the sacred timeline universe or whatever.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw him, I was like, it'd be really funny if he was Human Torch. So he's probably Human Torch.
And then you told me that.
I did whisper that to you because I needed someone to know that I thought that,
Called it.
And like if I whispered that to Sophia, she'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
No, that was like super cool. I think that was like the coolest thing that they did.
That was a very fun thing. It seems like Chris Evans had fun doing it too.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot.
He flames on real quick.
Yeah. Does a quick flame on. So that's cool. I always assumed that he would come back as Human Torch, but it would be in like Secret Wars, like way down the line.
Yeah.
Just like
now they're just taking that off the table.
Yeah, which I think is fine because I think doing it this way puts it in a context that makes sense for Deadpool, but it wouldn't.
And they're like acknowledging it,
Yeah, and they're like, "Look at this, we're having a little bit of fun." So if this movie in its entirety feels like just kind of playing with like old toys or something.
Yeah, basically.
So it's pretty fun, but you could tell that there's like so much energy and heart that goes into just like comic book movies in general, and so I think that like really translates throughout the whole movie, which is cool.
Dude, they always nail like the music in these movies. And that Madonna song like fucking rips.
Yeah.
I think it's so sick.
It is really good.
Like the slow walkout and then that like starts playing. I'm like, this is so hard for some reason. I think
that would have been so corny if they didn't get the exact right music.
Yeah.
It's like slow-mo walkout and it's like it's like Blade and he's like slow-mo for just like a little bit too long,
Yeah.
But like they had good music and everyone was like, oh my God,
Yeah, I know.
So it's fun.
And then what cameo do you think was missing? That you think could have been in there if they had an extra 10 minutes or whatever?
Like Fan Force Tick, like Miles Teller, Fantastic Four team. Like either any of them, I feel like. It could have been like a Michael B. Jordan or something, and then he makes like another fake out joke.
I think
or like I
think a joke about just like, oh, this thing sucked is just kind of like a low blow kind of thing.
I don't think you would even necessarily need to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like pretty unanimously seen as like a shitty movie.
Or if they like,
but so is like Elektra, and like they didn't.
What if someone was like, we need Reed Richards, and then it's like,
that seems like a good opportunity.
They go to Miles Teller.
Yeah, like
it's like, fuck, not this one.
Yeah, like shit. Like, who are you? Something like that. I think you could do that tastefully without it being like, oh man, what a shitty movie you were a part of.
It's like we don't need a drum solo right now. We need
yeah, that would be good stuff.
A hero.
Some whiplash jokes. That's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would have been cool.
I think it would have been pretty legendary.
I think some X-Men...
if Ghost Rider was in this.
Ghost Rider would have been fucking unreal. I was talking to Sophia about that after. I was like, oh man, imagine I assume they tried and reached out to like everybody to see just who would be down.
Yeah.
So it would have been cool to have some like first class X-Men in there maybe.
Yeah. I think they got that out of their system with like Deadpool 2 when he like goes to the mansion,
Yeah, kind of.
So...
yeah, so I think they did pretty good with what they got. I mean, they got some big hitters in there for sure. I'm sure they tried to get like Ben Affleck Daredevil in there maybe.
Yeah.
But then, I'd be interested to, hopefully in like 20 years or something, there's going to be like a making of for like this movie. And they're like, oh my God, we reached out to so many people.
It was crazy because they had like Happy Hogan in this.
Yeah.
But he was like also like Foggy Nelson.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
I forgot about that.
Didn't even mention it.
Yeah, didn't even mention it.
That would have been like a bit much.
Yeah.
Why do you think Thor was crying?
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
The only thing that I can come to is like maybe Loki was like casting himself as Deadpool, but ends up like dying, kind of like in, because I think it's
a scene from the Dark World.
Dark World, yeah, when he dies.
What people figured out, but they made like such a big point of it for it to like not really be anything. Like he mentions it like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, that was like a funny gag.
It's a funny gag, but
he wants to know why like Chris Hemsworth is crying over him, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was fine. We get so many versions of Wolverine in this. We mentioned like the Henry Cavill one, but there's
the
like
montage.
Yeah, we get the comic accurate short Wolverine one, which I think is really funny.
Seemed a little bit shorter than
because he's like 5'3" or some shit. Typically, I think
that dude was like 4'6".
Yeah, he was pretty short, but looks pretty funny. It looks like just one of those like TikTok filters or whatever. So,
yeah.
Like John Byrne gets like a shout out in this.
That was neat. Yeah,
yeah, for like one of the versions of Wolverine where he's got like crazy hair, or it was the cross one.
That John Byrne was like the brown suit.
Might have been the brown suit guy. Did we see a brown suit in this?
Yeah, that was when like he pops his claws and then Hulk's in the reflection. Oh yeah, like that cover.
Dude, that was so good.
I was like, wow, this is all moving so fast.
I didn't realize they did it like at first, but I was like, I think we just saw the Hulk's reflection in there, and it was like that one cover. So you can tell there's like, you know, that. I mean, maybe they probably just like love those comics. So there's like, yeah, it'd be cool if we could do this. You know?
Yeah, why not?
That was definitely Ruffalo's Hulk, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I like how they're talking about how like a lot of the multiverse stuff like isn't really working, or that's kind of like maybe the attitude going into this, and maybe people think like this movie will change that, but it's kind of like it's just another multiverse movie. You know?
It's another multiverse movie, but what I like about it is that they are pretty good at throwing punches both at DC and Marvel, you know?
Yeah,
because when the Henry Cavill thing, they're like, we treat you way better than those guys down the street, you know? There's that, but then it was also like kind of shots at Marvel not doing as well like commercially like recently. So I think that's cool. I think you need that to like laugh at yourself a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm glad that this was able to happen and is able to, you know, still be rated R, and didn't seem like the Marvel buyout thing or the Disney buyout thing was like
didn't really
affecting it.
Yeah, it didn't really affect the vision overall, it seemed.
Yeah.
Some of the fight scenes are pretty cool, and it seems like they try and put a limit on what the fight scenes are so that they can get creative in that space.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about like the fight scene between Deadpool and Wolverine in the car.
Yeah.
And there's like flipping around the car and like going outside and around the other side. That scene's really fun to me. It's insane that car still worked after that like super long fight scene seemed like. So that was cool. When they first fight for the first time, Deadpool and Wolverine does like a all fours kind of run.
Yeah, like
towards
a bear
Deadpool.
crawl thing.
And it looked so weird.
There are a couple moments of like CGI that look like a little funky.
Yeah.
I guess.
But I think that one could have worked if it looked like James McAvoy running on all fours. You know?
Oh.
Because I feel like that is
like
weird.
in Glass or whatever.
But they pulled that off a little bit better in Looking Glass than they do in this. So
I'd say I'd like this one more because that seems like a Wolverine thing to do.
Yeah.
As like a charge.
It was just strange.
Yeah. Did you see any like negative reviews about this?
I mean, probably just bitter people being like too fan servicey or whatever.
Yeah, it seems like most, I guess the people I follow on like Letterboxd like gave it pretty like low reviews, I guess.
Oh, really?
I don't know what they were hoping this was going to do.
I think there's some parts of it where they're just like missing the mark a little bit, I guess.
Maybe, yeah. I think people are wanting this movie to kind of like fill like the Marvel void that there's kind of been as far as like quality movies, I guess. And then also the Deadpool void that there just has been because there hasn't been a movie in like 6 years or whatever.
Really?
And so, but this is like a Deadpool movie, and
it feels like
if you didn't
movie.
have like a good time with this, then like you're watching it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, just like chill out.
Yeah, just like let it happen.
Just have fun. Like it's very clearly supposed to be like a friendship buddy cop movie.
Yeah,
not like anything that's supposed to push any sort of longer story.
Yeah, like the plot's not
Marvel.
going to be like groundbreaking or anything. It's just going to be pretty straightforward, so you can set up for jokes and stuff.
Yeah, I think what they could have done a little bit better is maybe like the love. Like they don't need a love story in there, but they like try to put something in there with Deadpool and the girl. I forget her name.
Oh yeah.
And it's like they touch on that a little bit, but they don't really do anything with it. So I can understand like they broke up, but then now there's like some sort of chance that they'll be back together. And I think it might have just been better if they were together, and that's the reason why he wants to go back. Like part of the reason why he wants to go back, you know?
Yeah, either way, like it works.
I just think it's weird that they made that choice to like have them be split up. I guess that's the reason why he wants to like be an Avenger in the first place or whatever. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's just like that part of it's a little bit weird, and then they tease on them having some sort of relationship.
I feel like he's kind of always going to be a Avenger regardless, you know?
Deadpool?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I think what they could have done, now that I like I don't have any issues with it and I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't change anything.
Something that they could have done, I guess, to add to it is to add like some stakes to it. I guess like the universe is about to be like obliterated, but no part of me ever thought that wasn't going to just go well.
Yeah, they do add, I think, some pretty solid stakes right at the end when they have the thing like, oh, you're going to be atomized. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. This all of a sudden feels like there's a little bit more weight to what their decisions are going to be. Because like any fight scene, if they get stabbed, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm under no impression that, you know, there's any stakes in any of the fight scenes really. Like, it's just more so like enjoying a fight scene.
The thing that I thought is like maybe to make the villain a little bit scarier is that they make Cassandra Nova like the only person that could actually kill Deadpool because of her power. That might have added something to it or something along those lines.
Yeah, maybe. But I do like Cassandra Nova's like weird hand powers.
Yeah, I liked her a lot in this.
I like her fingering.
You like her finger work?
Yeah. Very disturbing, I feel like, when she's just like all up in someone's guts.
Yeah, I just kept thinking about like how they filmed that, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
it's probably just her hand all CGI.
Probably. But like it's very disturbing to see like fingers under someone's skin or like pushing like an eyeball out kind of. Or like when he's dragging that dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's just disgusting. But she was cool in this. I feel like Cassandra Nova.
Yeah.
Pretty fun character.
Definitely.
I feel like every Deadpool having a Peter is a little strange because I feel like every Deadpool should have like a Dopinder.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of been throughout these movies. But I do like the Peter jokes, how he's just like got this like huge cock and balls like in the suit.
I couldn't stop looking.
Yeah, and he's just like risen up that one girl.
Yeah, the only thing about like the Deadpool clique or whatever was like there was like a couple unique ones in front, and then all the ones in the back were just normal Deadpools. Like they look like they were just kind of cosplayers.
Yeah, like
a part of me just kind of wants it all to be different people.
Yeah, I feel like
I was kind of hoping for like the one that speaks Spanish, Massacre or something like that. I think that would have been dope.
Yeah, I think they have.
That would have been for me, but
they have some like pretty inspired designs that they could have gone with in there. Like imagine like a Gwenpool is just like in the background. That'd be kind of cool to see, right?
They had the 2099 Deadpool.
That's pretty cool.
Which was in like the Jerry Duggan run.
I think a Panda Pool would have been cool, but no one really.
A little expensive, but
yeah, probably expensive. But just I understand why. I like the Lady Pools there, played by Blake Lively. That's sweet.
I was hoping for like a unmasking kind of thing because it didn't even like sound like her really.
Yeah, I only knew that it was her because I saw her on the red carpet in like a very superhero-y looking suit.
I just saw like the credits. I'm like, oh, I guess it was her.
No, I saw that before, so I figured it was her. Apparently Matthew McConaughey was one of the voices.
Cowboy Pool,
yeah.
Which is fitting.
So yeah, those are pretty fun. I mean, Wolverine suit looks great. He puts on the mask finally. I don't know where he pulls it from. Apparently he had that the whole time.
Yeah, it just like folds in.
It seems like a very like hard shell mask at some point some part. So is that just tucked into his back?
It pulls out like one of those like retractable like hoodie things, you know, that you can just stuff in.
He like puts it on. I'm like, where was that?
Yeah, I was like,
what are you doing?
I looked behind him like, is that just hanging down there?
Yeah, but it looks good. Yeah, I think there's some angles where it's like a little bit silly looking, so I understand.
Yeah, not every shot looks like it's like on his head completely.
Yeah,
but that's just like nitpicking, you know.
Yeah, and that's like this, but it's definitely the best version of what that could possibly be. I feel like
I didn't even notice that it wasn't on for most of the movie. Like when you pull it out, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing that we're waiting for.
I would have been content with like just him having the suit, but I know that not everybody would be because they teased the helmet and at like the end of the Wolverine.
Yeah.
So that's understandable. But yeah, I think it looks good. They do like the white lenses just like Deadpool. And so
yeah,
I feel like that'll be a more popular helmet design for future superhero movies because I think it works.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And nobody died, so it's definitely possible that, you know, Hugh Jackman can be back or
till he's 90.
Yeah, because he could have just like killed him in that last moment you know?
Yeah,
And then
I would have been cool if they did that. I would have been like, wow,
Yeah.
that's good for them.
They bring him back just to kill him again.
Yeah.
But it would have given like this whole tale, like a meaning, I guess, to him. But yeah.
But it ends quite nice. What was your favorite joke?
For the only one I can really remember that I remember laughing out loud. A lot of it I was like just kind of smiling and everyone else was laughing.
Yeah.
But the big one that I think I was the only one that laughed at was like they had like the time box thing that they had, and Deadpool was like, "What, the MacGuffin?"
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
And I don't know if everyone knows what a MacGuffin is.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Or he also called his like the wings on his helmet like blowjob handles. I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
What about you?
I think the one that I laughed at the most, well, just like the entire bit of Gambit having like a super thick accent.
Oh yeah.
I think it was just really funny because I didn't expect him to be so good at it.
Yeah.
But there's a line that he says is like, "Jesus Christ, who's your dialect coach? The Minions?" And I think that joke's really funny.
Yeah.
But I love seeing Gambit in this. There's a part I told you, but I got goosebumps when he's doing like the card thing, and they're like all them light up because I wanted it so bad, you know. And they do it so well, and it's a rated R movie, so you could just like make people blow up. It's really cool. So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like the card CGI was better in X-Men Wolverine.
You know what is funny is
Origins.
I agree.
Like I didn't think that was a bad movie when I saw it because I was like 10 or something when it came out, and so
should rewatch.
Yeah, I don't even think I'd hate it that much.
I don't think I'd hate it too much either.
So like it's just a.
I understand why
movie.
people hate it, but I don't think if I rewatched it, I would hate it too much.
Yeah,
because I got some good stuff in there. But
yeah, Will I Am,
Bone Claws,
Liev Schreiber, that dude who plays Blob.
Who's the Sabretooth in this? Was he in like the original X-Men movies?
X-Men, yeah.
Okay.
They put that in the trailer as if like that was like a big thing to look forward to, and then it just slices his head first try.
Yeah, just whatever. Yeah. At the end, they had like a nice send off to like all the old movies, like Fox movies, you know.
Oh, like bloopers and behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, bloopers, behind the scenes stuff of just like movies that like aren't a thing anymore, but it's like it's kind of a nice like little thing of like you can like a nice send off to those movies and like appreciation for them. Yeah. You know, they walked so that the MCU could run kind of deal. Yeah. So I think I think it was nice that they did that.
Definitely.
They even had like Fan Four Stick stuff in there.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So yeah, very cool. I think, is this your favorite one?
No.
I think it might be mine.
You said that after Deadpool 2 as well. So.
I like Deadpool 2 a lot.
Do you like it more than the first one?
I think they're all like out of 10, they're all within like 0.5 of each other.
I think I rank them. Yeah, they're definitely 0.5 from each other. But I think I rank them in the order they came out.
I think it's fair.
I'm just kind of a sucker for setup, you know? And like the first one just did a lot of that and it was simple compared to the rest. Mm-hmm. And so there's just like a little bit more of like an emotional aspect to it that I enjoyed.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of emotional aspect in this one just because you know that neither of them are going to die.
Well, you didn't know that.
I mean, you thought they might at the end and it would make sense if they did, but like throughout the whole movie, it's like, let's just see what the next thing is. So yeah, I can understand if people like the first or second one better than this, but I think this one's a good time.
Definitely. Would you rate it out of 5? You can do half stars as well.
I guess 4.5 then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice there was no weasel in this?
No weasel. And
who cares?
It wouldn't have changed it.
Yep. It wouldn't have made it
even
any
if they
better
put
or
him in
worse.
there a lot.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, there was stuff. There was him missing, and it didn't feel like it.
Yeah, I forgot until like today.
Yeah. I saw like just some old interview of what's his name just being bitter about it or something.
It is very funny to see him be bitter about it. But anyway, good stuff.
All right, Nathan, what we're going to read next week. What are we going to read next week? We're going to read Alien Genocide.
Next week.
And Parker's going to come on.
Yeah. One of my good buddies. No one knows him.
Yeah, he's a comic guy, a comic friend who've known for the entirety of the podcast, and now he's finally coming on.
Yeah, we tried to get him on one time, then he bailed on us.
Yeah, so actually, we're not even sure if he's going to come on.
Yeah.
But it's very possible.
We'll see.
But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around for the whole episode. For 2 trades this episode.
2 trades, 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah.
We're on clearance over here. So thanks for watching. Tell us what your favorite before Watchmen is. Tell us what your favorite cameo was in Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah, tradewaiterspod@gmail.com. Link tree in the bio, like, comment, subscribe, stuff like that. And go buy.
That's it. Bye.